Yo, YouTube, what up, what up, what up? Hey, I'm just giving y'all a shout out. This is an introduction. I want to urge you guys, because this channel, YouTube, is doing their best. All right, like I said, they messed it up so that I can't upload videos. I have to go about it in a special way to upload videos, you guys. Can't do it through my phone. I have a process that I have to do it online. That's why you do not see me recording videos anymore, because I can't use the camera on my phone. It doesn't access it. Okay, you're gonna have to add my backup channel. All right, just type in the search Saint NOUAN. All right, ST.NOUAN, and look for my other channel. I urge that, because I'm only going to be posting here on this spot for so long. Eventually I'm not going to be posting here, because I will not be able to. All right, you know, I want you guys to take a gander of the video that got banned from me. Was just my opinion, okay, for myself, on the fact that, you know, I wasn't down with playing basketball. Now, when I say basketball, what do you do in basketball? You take shots, right? So put it together. Now, you see all kind of other videos where people could read articles and talk about this type of thing. So when you see the nature of my communication has changed, and I have to speak in a new way, right, to convey or get to you some information, then you know it's very particular. You know I'm dealing with a lot. So if you guys happen to enjoy these little podcasts or whatever that I put together, or whatever, if you guys are just chilling out, relaxing or whatever, you know, you could go to that channel, all right, and listen to those podcasts, you know, while you're working, while you're driving or something like that, you know, and you know, just get some information or what have you. You know, I'm just into the information getting out, and you know, to people who are also thinking and waking up, you know, out of this matrix. Peace and blessings be with you all. I'm out. Yo. What up, YouTube? What up? Yeah, man. In this you know what? We're gonna do a special issue 3. And I'm gonna talk about hip-hop, okay, and how hip-hop, the art form, is highly cerebral, all right, and the usage of wordplay, and how that links, I feel, to the Son of the Most High, who is Jesus Christ, okay. Hip-hop, you guys, I was listening to this track. It's by this rap duo called Run the Jewels. It's like pretty much my favorite rap group. You know what I'm saying? It has LP. All right, it's a white guy, red hair, out of New York, and Killer Mike. I think he's out of Atlanta. All right, these lyricists are fucking raw. A lot of people, man, who deal with the image and game, man, of like this world or whatever. This world will put an artist in front of you over and over and over again. And the next thing you know, this individual is like a pop sensation. Forgive me. This is like a pop sensation, you guys. You know. And so when you hear a lot of people talk about like their top 5 favorite music artists and what have you, you know, a lot of the time, man, it's just interesting that we come into this world so unique. And even if I don't like the type of music you listen to or the songs you like, the fact that we like different songs ascribe to a certain peculiarity. But somehow when we leave this place, by the time we all leave, it's like we're re-educated to a degree, you know, and we listen to the same things. There's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just saying, like, for instance, when coworkers go through their playlist or whatever, you know, they're doing their playlist or whatever. Maybe they, you know, some people are easygoing. I think it's really a gift to be able to, you know, just kind of you know, whatever music come out, it's like, yo, that's hype. But at the same time, like, I gotta be honest, like, when I'm looking at your playlist, I'm looking for songs that are peculiar, things I never heard of before, because different songs, man, when you listen to the lyrics or for any reason that you listen to them, you know, a certain individual is gonna like a song based on how they relate to it. And so when you have top 40, how do you have that? We have different seasons in this world and in different times, and everything from fashion to music, there are trends. How is it that you have a top 40 where so many people just fall into the same trend and just agree on the same songs, right? Such as the billboards. If people were to label their top 5, many people would say Biggie, Tupac, Eminem, and probably, you know what I'm saying, 2 fucked up mumble rappers like Lil Pump and what's another Lil, you know what I'm saying, I don't know, Post Malone or some shit, right? I'm not hating on these artists, man. Like Post Malone, I think I heard one of his tracks I liked, although the video was highly demonic, you know, because me, you know, my music list is very peculiar. I noticed that my playlist is not like anybody else's really that I've ever seen, man. There are very few people that would probably, you know what I'm saying, vibe to certain songs. I listen to odd shit, man. Like, take for instance, there's a rock song, right, from the 70s by a Vietnamese rock band called Can, okay? And they have a track called Vitamin C. Or I may be bumping, you know what I'm saying, this dude from the 70s named Tom Brown, okay? He got a track called, you know, Thighs High, where at the minute mark, there's like a breakdown that's just insane. And maybe that just came from my development in this world, the type of friends I had, you know, getting involved with breakdancing and, you know, some of the Jabberwockies of America's Best Dance Crew. You know, they were my dance instructors, you know, when I was, you know, in my earlier life when I was young, you know. And the group that won the years following America's Best Dance Crew, that was also a crew I used to rock with. You know what I'm saying? Do battles and shit. We go out, do battles. You know, we had practice sessions together, like after school and shit. And one of the guys, you might remember, he was a judge on one of the shows. His name was Dominic. Okay. You know, he had a brother, Chizak, and, you know, he had a sister, I forget her name. But, you know, like, I knew all them cats, man. But, you know, unfortunately, I should say, I decided to take the safer route. You know, I had people in my ear. And one of the more predominant reasons I went to college was because, you know, my father passed away and he wanted me to go. So, you know, I want to respect his wishes. Whereas before, when he was alive, I was definitely not going to college. That just wasn't my shit. You know, I didn't know what I was gonna do or anything like that. But if I just stayed on the course of, you know, where I wanted to be, you know, I probably would be living in LA right now or something like that. Pretty sure of it. Or Las Vegas. You know, back before the Jabberwockies were the Jabberwockies, there was a crew in NorCal called Kaboom Squad. And my instructors were in there. You know, these dudes were very humble brothers, Christians. And yeah, they were just, I knew it when I met them as my dance instructors or whatever, and I seen how they get down. I was like, yo, this is the illest dance group I ever seen in my entire life. Like, nobody can fuck with them. And they were so humble, teaching classes and what have you. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? These niggas will kill the game. And so it's the same thing, you guys, when I get on this dynamic of my testimony talking about, you know, hip hop. Okay. Like I said, I really haven't had extensive thought in who are my top 5. But I will tell you that, you know, my favorite rap group of, you know, all time is, you know what I'm saying, Run the Jewels. LP is my favorite rapper. Yeah, it's a white guy, you know, and to fairly say, like, he was first before, you know, Killer Mike came onto the scene and they formed a rap group. So I would say Run the Jewels. I would say Ghostface Killer, okay, from the Wu-Tang, right? Like, to be honest, though, Eminem is nice at rhyming and what have you, and he says things that are sick from an artistic value, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, he's a dope artist. But honestly, I think that, you know, LP and Killer Mike would, if anybody try to come at them battle style, bro, they would get laid the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? And people ain't really talking about that. It's a major group, you know, but these are cats that, you know, they're mid-level, exceedingly supernaturally talented, and so they kind of blew up, even though they didn't cross that line. You know what I'm saying? Ghostface Killer from the Wu-Tang, you know, his wordplay or whatever. If Eminem was to ever battle Ghostface Killer, dude, he would get fucking murdered. Like, and it's amazing to me, like, how these artists, that should be on a whole nother spectrum level, you know, not in talent, but in terms of this world or what have you, are, you know, they're successful, but they're in the places that they are, when really they could just, like, dude, they would kill the game. Nobody battles Ghostface Killer. Nobody battles, you know, LP on a single basis. I think some crews maybe try to battle LP, but nobody's fucking with LP. And LP also produces his own beats. Killer Mike, man. Killer Mike also, you know, he would be in that list. So what am I talking about, guys? You know, I'm talking about, yeah, you could rhyme well, but I'm talking about content. Another group, they're a whole group. Clear Soul Forces, all right, a hip hop group. Ain't nobody fucking with these kids, bro. Like, they would mangle. If Eminem went for them, he would get mangled, right? You know what I'm saying? They're just on a whole nother level, content wise and everything else. You know, Eminem, I'm not taking anything from him. He's a phenomenal and great artist, right? In the platform of being mainstream, but, you know, in terms of the context or the content of his music, a Lil Wayne, who else? You know, a lot of these guys that are, you know, in the limelight, like, honestly, like, though they are good rhymers, and though others in mainstream, you know, might not be able to battle rap as well as them, you know, when I listen to that music, I mean, even Biggie, do I like his rhymes? You guys don't be crazy. You know, Biggie is a phenomenal artist, but the content of his work, like, I can't really, you know what I'm saying? Tupac, some of his stuff, when you start coming with that real shit, man, like, yeah, I could get with it, man. You know, and I lived my life, like, on the West Coast, on the left coast, for a long time. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the content, it just, I don't know. It really wasn't, the things they were saying, they were dope, but it wasn't really cerebral for me. It didn't really take me somewhere to a place, man, in my head, or inspire me to put words together myself or anything like that. So, going back to this thing, man, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Playlist, you know, in terms of discernment, you know, the Bible talks about a peculiar people. If I look on your playlist and I see, you know, and I'm not judging anyone, but, like, if I see a whole bunch of songs that are top 40 or very common or familiar, like it tells me a lot about the mentality and the psychology of that individual. You know, maybe that is like borderline sadistic. I don't know. You know, maybe I sound like some type of, you know, crazy ass serial killer. But you guys, I'm not. Like, I'm just hella cerebral, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I start coming into the spirit, yo, you know what I'm saying? I just think and move. I operate different, you know. You know, so that's what I'm saying about that, you guys. Like, you know, if there are a bunch of common songs, you know what song I'm looking for? I'm looking for that one song that sticks out like an ear. And it's a song that you might be embarrassed about. Why? You don't want me to hear that song because that would make you vulnerable. You might seem a little bit more human. What is the psychology? How do you relate to that song? Why do you like that song? Those are the things that, like, I look for. So when I get to know people, man, like, moving forward, because really, for the most part now, like, I just tend to kind of want to be a recluse. You know, I'm really listening, like, in terms of psychology of, like, you know, why do you like that? Or are you so-called, are we just going mainstream? Now, I'm not one of these, what do you call them? The hippie, I don't know what the new school beatniks are called. You know, they're more the indie bunch that pretty much, if anything is mainstream, they just shoot it down. I'm not one of them type of niggas. You know what I'm saying? But, like, I really get into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so moving forward, just a discernment thing for all of you out there, man. You know, when you're dealing with people, because people who have a whole bunch of mainstream artists and what have you, you know what I'm saying, on their playlists or what have you, you know, to me, whether it be YouTube videos or whether it be music, man, it just makes, you know what I'm saying, they appear, you know what I'm saying, very, very common in psychology. And this is not me trying to judge them, okay? There could be some, you know what I'm saying, some people that are very peculiar with just top 40 songs and really just haven't delved into that spectrum or anything like that. But, you know, think about the dynamic of psychology. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just something that's interesting to me. You know, it says a lot, you know, about what they listen to sonically, how their psychology may be possibly oriented. But anyhow, in this song, okay, by Run the Jewels, it's called 36-Inch Chain. Okay, so that's the title of the song, right? And you know, LP and Killer Mike in that group, these guys, the way they rhyme and what they rhyme about is hella revolutionary, I think, to a degree, because, you know, they really go against the infrastructure or the establishment of how they operate. You know, they rap about songs like telling you not to sell your soul and what have you, and they're fucking dope, dude. They're hella raw, dude. Like, they will mangle they will mangle anyone in a battle. Like, that's what I believe. Kendrick Lamar is a great rapper. He's a great rapper. I like his content too, man. Like, yeah, I like Kendrick. I just really, for one reason or another, I don't listen to him all that much. You know, maybe that's the spectrum I need to get into or something. You know, hear more of his music. But I guess I am kind of more underground backpacker to a degree with a lot of the stuff that I listen to. So the name of this track is called 36-Inch Chain. Right off the bat, I want you guys to think about 36-inch chain, okay? LP and Killer Mike are great for their lyricism and using content to display a much deeper message on many different levels. All right, they're genius. Now, I haven't studied this song or anything like that. I ain't, but I'm just saying right off the bat, 36-inch chain. When you think about that shit, man, like, what do you think about? Back in the hip hop era or whatever, chains has always been a dynamic, but it also has been in terms of slavery, in terms of the Hebrew Israelite. So it's kind of like a play on words. What is the 36-inch chain? They also had that group called 3-6 Mafia, right? And Pimp C was in that. He ended up, you know what I'm saying, passing on to the next world. We don't know how. Many speculate it was a sacrifice because he was most definitely, speaking out against the corruption in the industry. The favoritism of it and what people had to go through to get that favoritism that they just simply wasn't down for. And but I want you to pay attention, you know what I'm saying, to the name of their group, 3-6 Mafia. And you got the cerebral guys like Run the Jewels with the track called 36-inch chain. What is the significance of 36? 666, right? So in that song, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not getting into the breakdown of lyrics or anything. I was going to interscope into different songs, and maybe I'll do it at different times, not on what other people break down about the song, but what I hear from the content in a spiritual manner, because I listen to things spiritually. But LP and Killer Mike, they're making a mockery of the industry with their lyricism over certain things. And 3-6 Mafia, 36-inch chain, the prevalence of chains in hip hop and in the slave trade, right? You train in your rusty chains for a gold one, and now you're a part of the industry, but you're still a slave. Prince. Something to think about, right? So, but at the end of this track, man, what I love, man, is LP says something along the lines of breakbeat minister, right? He says breakbeat minister, right? I want you guys to think about that. And this is why I love hip hop, man, because I'll tell you what, man, like in the 90s, it was on a whole different stage. And when it started getting very superficial, you guys, I took a hard left from listening to a lot of rap and hip hop and what have you, and breakbeat minister. What I like about the wordplay is the fact that it conveys an entire history in just 2 words, an entire culture, an entire industry. It says, LP says many things. Keep in mind, this is a white guy. For all you Hebrew Israelites out there, it's just kind of like, oh yeah, we the people, and not saying we the people as in, any peoples that have, the spirit of the Most High, or, have the Holy Spirit, or pertain to things such as wisdom, because wisdom is much higher than knowledge. But what makes hip hop amazing is the fact that, in the 90s, during the mid to late 90s, there was a lot of dispute over the art form of hip hop, from the government, the CIA, and what have you, because, a lot of people were just saying that it's derogatory. They didn't like the sound of the music and what have you, right? And a lot of people in society were talking about the culture. And in talking about the culture, they were talking about a people, right? But it's a lot different from the real art form to what you see on your screen when you get like a Lil Wayne, right? When you discern the insecurities that one may have, talking about how much money or how great their chain is, or all these other things that really have no matter to the significance of the gift that they have and that they're presenting. It's all relevated around to picking up a check. And those things can be fun, right? To listen to, the beat could be catchy and all that. But when it comes down to content and what I'm listening to, it's cerebral. And what I loved about hip hop was the fact that many people just didn't get it, right? Many people just didn't get it, meaning they didn't understand, okay, what what's being displayed on the records or anything like that. Not to say that every record was the same, right? But either way, people were not catching it, and that just goes to show you that, wisdom is highly cerebral, and that communication in itself can display its way in many different ways, even an art form. Being an intellectual but not being able to convey the things that you see, or having a vision but not being able to convey those things, then the vision that you have could potentially, be pointless. You have to be able to communicate that or convey that. Or let's say you wanted to pass a message to somebody without having a sea of people know what you're talking about. Kind of like a two-way communication, kind of like prayer, right? Or your relationship with the Most High, or this targeting thing. We can talk amongst ourselves and one another's, and people just wouldn't get it, so they would call us crazy, right? So here's the thing, man. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, back in the slave times, during the slave trade, you know what I'm saying, and slavery and all that, for all of you dark-skinned niggas out there, you could directly relate to this. I know you understand. We were the field so-called niggas, right? We worked the fields, right? That's that weird caste system that comes in, class system that went all the way back, even before slavery, pertaining to skin color or whatever. But in the fields, the slaves, they would sing songs. And what were those songs diagnosing? Those songs were Negro gospels, Negro spirituals. And now when you go to a church, you open by cracking a book and you close by cracking this book that's not the Bible, but has hymns or gospels to God that shows you that these people were highly spiritual. And the beautiful thing about it is, while they were praising God, many of the messages that they would sing amongst themselves, certain people and groups, they would pass messages, and the slave master would not be able to understand what they were talking about. Nor the people that may be being utilized, or the demons utilize the distribution companies to politic the industry of what's mainstream and what's not mainstream. So free speech has always been free, but not the same for everyone, right? And in such matter, you're working the fields, the slaves are singing these songs, the slave master is loving hearing these songs. However, for some, there's certain parts of the lyrics that devise clues for escaping, rules, what time they should leave. All sorts of information is being passed through these songs, this rhythmic harmonic for people to hear. In one dynamic, it makes me think of the Underground Railroad, how certain artists that have a more fleshed out form of content with the wordplay and the things that they're saying in the context of their songs, when people just don't get it, are in the industry but are less seen because they're what? Underground, not mainstream, right? Not everybody can relate to that, but to some derogatory shit that Lil Wayne says, even in the suburbs, they feeling it. They understand the debauchery, because this world is a world of sin. So, look at today's times. Many people are fascinated by UFOs, even the CIA and the FBI and what have you, all this classified information, where they got entire groups together to understand these types of things. And yet, amongst the fields, songs that the slave master may have tapped his foot to. They're singing, swing low, sweet chariot. In the Bible, they talk about chariots of God, chariots of fire. Ezekiel seen a chariot. UFO, unidentified flying object. That's a chariot. Back in the day, they had chariots. You fast forward time, those chariots became cars. A horse pulls a chariot, and horsepower pulls a car. You need to go far, you take a plane. A lot of times. Places you just can't get to by car. What do they call planes? What do you have in there? You have cabins, which is relative to carriages. Chariots. Still the same allegory. UFOs come into our dimension from some other place. We call them UFOs, but God calls them chariots. Jesus returns on the horse, and there are 4 horsemen that come before Jesus. Are they coming out the sky in horses? Or is that allegorical to the context and the nature of what they used to travel back in their time? Swing low, sweet chariot. The slaves were swinging about UFOs before the CIA was even thought about. Something to think about, you guys. And they were also instructions for people to escape those Negro Gospels, which are now called hymns in churches. There's a song in Revelation that the peculiar 144,000 sing. I suppose a Negro gospel. They're from the 12 tribes of Israel. Whoa. You mean to tell me a Negro gospel made it all the way up to Revelation? The end? In which they sing and people speculate whether it is to be or not to be. There's 144,000. They cry out to God. People talk about a rapture. Did you hear it? Maybe it was a Negro gospel. Maybe you didn't understand the words like many don't understand the word of God, but yet the word is and always will be. Rapture. Rapture. What you doing, man? I'm rapping. Rapture. Hip hop. A culture that's said to be bastardized, and you think about the inner cities and the ghettos and what have you. Single parent, broken homes, halfway houses. The ones that are highly despised. Certainly they do not know God. Those who were oppressed for 400 years. Rapture. Not to be confused with a raptor, because that's a dinosaur. I'm just saying, man, in case y'all confused. Swing low, sweet chariot. Right? What did LP say at the end of 36 Cents Chain? Breakbeat minister. Where did the blues come from, y'all? could have came from Negro gospels. Did not the slaves work in the fields and the segregation, the racism, the oppression make them sing the blues, their hard times and what have you? Now others could sing it, but they didn't quite live it. Kind of like the rap industry, right? The rap industry, some people talk about that lifestyle, but they ain't about that life. Kind of different from the 90s when nowadays nigga get on Twitter, talk that shit online, behind a box, behind a computer screen. That ain't how it worked in the 90s. They would not measure up to them 90s niggas. 90s niggas would fucking come to see you at your own show with the Hammer. Not to be confused with MC Hammer and what he did to Redman, right? Because MC Hammer, Redman just did a little skit cracking a joke, and MC Hammer went to visit Redman. They just had a talk. They had an understanding. They were cool. Redman talks about it on Vlad TV. But somebody was coming to see you. It wasn't this long drawn out beef. It wasn't this I'll see you on Twitter type of shit. People trying to screenshot posts. It wasn't none of that shit. Where did they hear it, you guys? If they didn't have that, maybe somebody heard a song. Maybe somebody went to a concert. Words. Words are powerful. The Holy Spirit is like a wind. The voice is carried in the fields. Maybe they heard it through the grapevine, right? Who's the great? Where did that song come from? Where did we most see it popularized? The California Raisins, right? The California Raisins. On a cloudy day, right? Yeah, the California Raisins sang that. Some of y'all are too young, man. What happens if you... What happens if you leave a grape out in the sun? The grape turns into a raisin. Don't you think that's interesting? Where does wine come from, you guys? Wine comes from grapes. What did Christ drink? Christ drank wine. The Word of God drinks wine. What did he say we will be like? You'll be as wine, because wine, as it's fermented, it gets better with time. Breakbeat minister. I want you to keep that in your mind. Who are we talking about? We talk about Israelites. We talk about Negro gospels. We talk about where blues came from. So then you got blues. People down on their times and shit. Turn to an art form off of the oppression. Blues got pressed so hard, and then it was the birth of rock. That's right. Rock came out of the blues. And metal came out of rock. Swing low, sweet chariot. Words. The Holy Spirit is like a wind. Words kind of carry in the wind. When the slaves would sing in the fields. And now I know my ancestors. They say the Bible came from the so-called white man. But that's not what the Bible say. The Bible said the word came from God because God gave his word. He sent a promise, Noah's Ark. Yeah. Think about that. Words. I talk about katanas. Why? Am I talking about actual katanas, you guys? No. If you take the word words and you drop the S at the end and put it before the W, then you get the word sword. And it's written that the word of God is like a sword. You talk that shit in the 90s, someone came to see you with the hammer. Nowadays we call them guns. God called it cannon. Yeah, that's right. So they say, we got the Bible from the white man. Oh, word? Is that where you got it from? I don't know if Negro Gospels, I don't know if it came from the slaves, if it's the hymns that I sing in church, if it's the blues I heard all the way back in the day. Robert Johnson. Or if it's rock music. Or if it's metal. Words could take many forms. Jesus was transfigured on the mountain. They said hip hop was a bastard culture. You know what a bastard is, you guys? A bastard is, by definition, a child without a father. Many people say that Joseph was Jesus Christ's father. Not really. What did Jesus say? He knew who his father was. His father was the Most High. His father was the Most High God. But in this world, he might have been seen as a bastard. By definition. And hip hop is a bastard culture. Broken homes, inner cities. It came from hard times like the blues. The oppression has a little bit of rock and roll in their voice when they growl, when they spit. What do they spit, you guys? They spit fire, right? What do you hear in all them fucking reggae songs, right? Tribe of Benjamin. Jabuya, 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 clap, brah, pa, pa. I spit hot fire, man. Right? Words, they got many forms, they got many accents. They got weights, they got ways, they got content. They say a picture paints 1,000 words. I suppose a picture could, but usually when I see a picture, I don't hear 1,000 words. I don't see 1,000 words. But when I see words, I can see 1,000 pictures. Now we making movies. Prophets call them visions. That's a revelation. Swing low, sweet chariot. Some niggas round the way talking about the mothership. We don't know. CIA says it's classified. Catch you in the Underground Railroad. Maybe Christ was a breakbeat minister. Maybe the culture is bastardized. We call it hip hop. Why? Why is it bastardized, you guys? The elements of hip hop came from different places. Before you had beats to rhyme and things like that. Well, it originated, I suppose, with the DJ. Brothers was rapping in the 1940s, believe it or not, but it got popularized with Blondie. You know, she spit some bars on one of her tracks. Oh yeah, she's a white girl. Not to be confused with cocaine, a real white girl. And she went by Blondie, and she spit some bars. I guess you could say she has soul, right? Now when you hear a beat, when it gets to a certain point in the track, right? Because they're tracks, right? Just like niggas used to work the railroad in the underground. They will work on tracks. The Negro gospel, or a cappella. The Bible says, make melody with your hearts. It's speaking of oppression. Now everything's digital. Niggas gotta sell their soul to get on track. Something to think about. Maybe I got away with words. Then again, maybe words got away with me. So back in the era, you have DJ Africa Bambaataa. He was prominent and popular. During the breakdown of the song, the part with the drum loop, where the beat would get really intense. Oh yeah. Walk by faith, not by sight. And faith come by hearing. And we could feel something. Braille. Though we were blind. DJs would take these tracks and they would be recorded on records. David had songs. It was recorded in the Bible. Records are made out of carbonite. Human flesh is carbon. We are carbon-based life forms. Coal is a mineral found underground. With pressure, it becomes a diamond. And a diamond reflects like a star. You play the record with a diamond needle. We got addicted. That's heroin. Ray Charles. Something we could feel. Something to be recorded, but not seen. Words. But some are co-founded. They say God's not real. Even though we say keep it real. In New York, they say, what up, God? My nigga. The root word of nigga is Naga. Naga means king or God. And it's also the root word of Nakash, which means serpent. What was in Eden? What kind of fruit gave you wisdom? What kind of fruit gave you knowledge of good and evil? What kind of fruit will give you life? People like to roll up a joint. The most popular one was Granddaddy Perp. Purple is the color of royalty. It's also the color of artificially flavored grape products. It's kind of like wine. And wine is kind of like fire. And fire can't be spit. Kind of like a dragon. Something to think about. Breakbeat minister. So these DJs would take apart these records. They would find with the needle where it was on that Carbonite record. And then they would splice the turntables together and loop that beat. And since it wasn't an entire beat, but just the breakdown, it became break beats. Now niggas, back in the day, and even now, it may be a little bit different. But niggas would do the jig and shit. But out of nowhere came breakdancing. From break beats and broken music out of New York. That's where that shit started. New York got subways. That's kind of like an underground railroad. Breakbeat minister. So now the kids are breakdancing, right? And when they didn't have a record from those broken beats, those who didn't rhyme would beatbox for the rhymers. Yeah. Kind of like a human orchestra. They would mimic the sounds and in analog make a beat. Kind of like a Negro gospel, kind of like an acapella, kind of like the railroad. You know, analog. Natural shit. Right? So let's think about this even further with the breakbeat minister. About spitting fire. Now we're talking about the rhymers, the word sayers, the storytellers. They would observe what was going on from their broken homes on a breakbeat while they break dance. Negro gospels, the blues, the story of the streets, the tears and victory. Around the 90s, the CIA came around. They only wanted to hear the gangster rap. It brought a certain enmity between the police and certain peoples. We'll just put it that way. We didn't have the same opportunities, the same education. We didn't have the same jobs. We were in a 400-year deficit. We just had to catch up. Had so many traumas. Breakbeat minister. Right? Single parent homes. Right? Concrete jungle. You can get anything there. Kind of like Eden, but then again, kind of not. What you looking for? I got that purple. Right? So all of that matriculated into eras of hip hop. Break beat minister. The scripture says, aren't they all ministering spirits? What they saying on records? All of a sudden, the boys in blue, the police, the CIA, they start to catch up, the FBI, the alphabets. They start to catch up. They're like, wait a minute. These guys on these records aren't just rhyming. They're saying something. If we can listen to the wordplay and figure it out, we can make drug busts. We can catch crimes. We can do all kinds of things. So they came out with the hip hop police and all of that. Wars in the street became wars on wax. Beef took a new form. The cattle industry, many people liked it raw. Words tear into people. Bullets for teeth and hollow points for fangs. The streets was a vampire. But if you ask any questions, they'll just say classified. Swing low, sweet chariot. Kind of like them slaves. Words kind of carrying the wind. They would get distributed and put on records. It's a spiritual currency, communication, you see. It transcends time. In Egypt, they passed down hieroglyphics. What did we say? Did we say we see pictures? No, we say, I see the writing on the wall. Right? The writing on the wall. That's pretty much what KRS-One was talking about in that song. Step into the world where there's no one left. Right? Some of y'all niggas too young. You don't know about that. Right? So, think about it, you guys. We all of a sudden have these MCs that do tracks on break beats, hip hop to rap. And then we get to this song on Run the Jewels, where just in 2 words, all of these things were painted in my head in just 2 words, and people don't understand it. Not everybody gets it. Not everybody gets it, but some try, and it's a part of their job. Because messages are being conveyed. They speak the same language, kinda. The pains and the oppression. You know, you guys, Jesus Christ went around healing people. Did you know that not slave masters were used to stand on the backs of their slaves thinking that the very thing they hated, the melanin, the blackness, would draw up out of a slave into their corrupted flesh and heal their cancers, heal their physical ailments, heal their carbonite. We didn't know shit about melanin. It wasn't that deep. It was what it was. What you hate me for? I just want y'all to think about that for a second. Oh, he's getting on that pride shit. I don't have to. There was something that the slave masters knew. It was something that they knew. Jesus came healing people. Like hip hop. By this world dynamic, we would say that he's a bastard if we didn't know him. Right? It's not me using strong speech. I'm drawing parallels here. LP said breakbeat minister. This brother came out preaching the truth day 1. He's a high priest. He came as the word. We have the Bible. We have this canon. In rap, they call them hammers. To do what? To shoot the shit. To communicate. But not everybody gets it. Not everybody's going. Not because they're cast out, but they chose not to go. They chose not to believe. It was made plain and simple, but not everybody chooses to get it. Now the world's gone viral. It's all up in everybody's headphones, but not in the pure form Now they're really giving heroin. Now they're really giving cocaine. Because you guys, let's be honest. Drugs affect the mind. But niggas listening to rap without a spiritual firewall, even if you in the CIA, the word is alive. It came from a heartbeat. Things put into the street from other places. I ain't blaming nobody. Sold to some people to break down the community. And we don't think there's no spiritual repercussion? The Bible says, be angry and sin not. I know many people want justice and vengeance, man, but quite frankly, what you gonna do? How many? And in that, you have to do a lot of searching. To what? Get one or two? Oh, he's talking about hate crimes. I ain't talking about that shit. Both of these examples of this entire thread came from white people. I'm talking to two people simultaneously. The black man and the white man. Any one of us cross that fucking line, man. Judgment comes down where it comes down. Trust me, you're a peaceful guy. You reap what you sow. So CIA guy having trouble with his wife, listening to records all day, talking about the drugs that his branch of the infrastructure pushed into the communities. Though you may not be directly connected to that leg, he puts together something, makes a discovery, and goes to seek it out, and now he knows where it's sold, but he's having a lot of problems. I ain't saying it's a good thing, a bad thing is a bad thing, but I'm just saying, you guys, vengeance is the Lord. Don't get mixed up in that shit. Bro, I say that with love, man. The warfare is played on a high ground. It's the shit that comes upon your mind. By the time you get into brute force, your adrenaline's rise, you lose your fine-tuned motor movements. And though we have imaginations, we can only do so much. But you lost already in that your mind, your consciousness has been decimated to a physical fight, to enact violence. Now your flesh is running the scene, not your consciousness. That part. I say that with love, man. To anybody listening to this shit, man. Would you not say that Christ, I don't care if you a gang member or whatever, call yourself an OG, would not Christ be a triple OG? Is he not a breakbeat minister? Does he not transcend time? Can he come in any form? Is he not omnipresent and omnipotent? That's some scary shit, y'all. Some of y'all, as youngsters, may have been looking in the mirror, trying to say Candyman in your mirror 5 times, waiting for him to come when you got an angel over your house. That nigga ain't showing up. I promise. He's not coming. He made other plans. But I'm just showing you guys, this is only 2 words out of the entire rap song. And it was spit by a white dude with red hair. So how are you going to quantify evil? And how are you going to quantify what the Holy Spirit does, where he chooses to go, and what he chooses to do? That's why I said you got to get on the spiritual frame and get out of that physical fleshly shit. That's just historical artifact for us to know how things got to be where they are. But yo, not everybody that looks different than you is your enemy. You battling spirits. It's a conscious thing. You got to keep the high ground. As soon as you drop into the flesh, shit, that's his world. That's what he fucking does. That's what he does. He does this thing. Can light be hidden? And if light can't be hidden, what must you do? You must do it in the dark. Now justice comes down as light, and you find yourself in a predicament. Wrong place at the wrong time. Don't do it. Don't do it. Love your enemy, because he may not know the truth. They say God is a consuming fire. They also say the kingdom of heaven is inside of you. If the kingdom of heaven is not inside of you, then the facilities of your mind is without a firewall. And you're running off of impulses. That's a zombie. We waiting for it to look like a zombie apocalypse where niggas is asleep right now, walking somnambulous. That part. So I say that with love, you guys. This special issue, this right here, this is called Breakbeat Minister. All right. I might do another feature on it, but I say peace and blessings be with you all, man. And I'm just going to show you a whole bunch of history for one word. I could even tie it back to Kanye West when he says breakbeat minister, right? If you still don't get how rhyme sayers or raptures or rapture, right? Use this word, and raptures could come in many different forms, such as sanctification. The continents of your conscious rising from fleshly things to cerebral things to higher states of wisdom. All right? It's different. But Christ, did he not use words? Did he not give parables? Were there not Negro gospels that turned into hymns and songbooks in churches? Are there not only black people but white people in them pews? It's something to think about, man. And when they went to Kanye West, they interviewed this guy. They were getting on him. They were saying, what do you mean? Are you saying that you're a minister? And people thought he was crazy, but he said, I'm definitely a minister. People come to my concert like they go to church. They definitely spend some money. He's talking about offering. And they hear what I have to say. They hear the message that I have to say. Breakbeat minister. Aren't they all ministering spirits? It's written. I don't care what you do. I don't care what type of life you in, man. Like Christ covered all that shit first, right? And rap, you know what I'm saying? Especially in battle rap, what do people do? They spit bars, right? Niggas about that life go to jail. People about that life are into other things. You know what I'm saying? They go into bondage. It's Egypt. Something to think about. That which happened in one place. The Hebrews were enslaved in Egypt 430 years. And there's been bondage over here in the Americas for 400 years. It's just kind of something to think about. So when he says breakbeat minister, I still see Christ, you guys. Where's your consciousness? Something to think about. Peace and blessings be with you all, man. I'm out.
Bring that old Phil Woo back. That's all, with the beats and all that.
That's all.
Yo,
Can
look,
we hear that verse?
I want to hear that
You wanna
verse.
hear that verse?
Now,
I'm
what song
telling
is
you.
this verse from?
You said nutmeg?
That's nutmeg. I wrote that in Africa, you know, without no music. I'm not used to writing without no music, but it would just like everything would just happen. It just brought my whole essence back when I was in Africa. You know what I mean?
Let's kick that verse.
You gonna kick it over? We gonna kick it over with something?
Yeah. I like this beat right here.
Well, acapella. It's either one because, you know, they gotta understand that this style right here that I kick, it's like you might not understand it, but the way I flip my style and bounce it with it and just the words that match up, it's real.
It's real.
You know what I mean?
We gonna do it to a beat or we gonna do acapella?
Half and half if you want to.
Nah,
you know what I mean?
All right, come on, let me hear.
You sure?
Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. Ghostface, wake up show.
Hey yo, scientific. My hand kiss it. Robotic, listic, optimistic. You probably missed it. Watch me dolly dick and Scotty Waddy competent me. Big microphone, hippie, kipsy, crispy chicken burst, rubber stone, Richie, chop the O. Sprinkle little snow inside of Optimo. Swing the John Mac and roll. Rap, rock and roll. Tidy bowl, gun hole pro. Starsky with the gum so. Hit the rum slow. Parole kids, live Rapunzel. Baton stizzy really high. The vivid laser I got. Jump in a Harley ride. Clarks, I freak 'em lemon pie. I'm about it. Lord forgive me, Miss Sally shattered. Tracy got shot in the face. My house was overcrowded. You fake cats done heard it first. On how I on your turf halftime. Cuban link verse, yo. Check out the rap kingpin. Summertime fine jewelry dripping. Face of the box. I seen your ear twitching. As soon as I drove off, cat came to me with 3 swords. Give one to Ray. Let's season they broth. Lightning raw fever heaters. Knock Nita Sheba for Heva. Diva got rock from the receiver. Bleeder portfolio. Looking fancy in the pantry. My man got bigger dimes, son. You're scampy, base that, throw it to your face, don't waste that. See ghost slamping in the throne with King Tut hat straight off.
Whoa!
Hey, I gotta go on the record and say that must be one of the illest verses I ever heard, man.
Yeah, that's how we do it, man.
Africa inspired that verse.
Yeah, man, it's like I'm off
believe
again.
Some people,
let's listen to a fast joint. You gotta hear this verse, man. All right. Speed it up a little bit, Red. You gotta speed it up just a little bit, man. You got your headphones straight? Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear it very
well. Ghostface.
Bottles going off in the church. We broke the wine, slapped the pastor. Didn't know Pop had asthma. He pulled out his blue Bible. Tasteful out his coat. 3 condoms, 2 dice, 1 bag of dope. Ooh, Rev ain't right. His church ain't right. Thinking it's a pimp. Tell by his ice. Mrs. Park said, Brother Starks, meet you at the number spot. Heard you got red tops out, and I want a lot. Shirley fainted dead on the spot. 2 ushers slipped $80 right out the pot. Oh,
Hold up.
Ooh, Rev ain't right. His church ain't right. Thinking it's a pimp, tell by his ice.
Yo, let's do some more, man.
Yo, man, we got favorites.
Kick something from one.
Yeah.
Yeah? The first or the second verse?
Second verse.
Second verse.
You put them to the test.
All right. Yo, the devil planted fear inside the black babies. 50-cent sodas in the hood, they going crazy. Dead meat placed in the shells, we eat cold cuts. Fast from the hog, y'all grow up. Yo, crash through, break the glass. Tony with the goalie mask, that's the pass. Heavy ice, Foley laying on the dash. Love the grass, cauliflower hurting when I dump the trash. Sour man served in every glass, it better. Sun splash, autograph, blessing with your name slash backdraft. 4-pounder screaming with the pearly ass. Children fix the contrast, add the sound clashes. Mrs. Dash sprinkle with an icicle eyelash. Ass cap a pentagraphs for backstage passes. Special guest, no more Johnny Blaze, Johnny Mattress. Acrobat, run up on that Love Jones actress. Distract the cat while I'm hot sugar, get a crack at this. Thinking down Oprah, jump rope, David Dinkins, watch the Black Me at DC. Hit the mocha, tangerine soaper, 2 super soakers in the Rover, hit the sports bar. Tell a young lady to bend over. Meditated yoga. Nah, just like
Yeah. Kelly was like that, man.
Hey, man, I ain't never heard nobody say.
Pardon me for the cursing, though. I didn't mean that. Like
dicking down Oprah.
Word. Nah, I didn't mean that though. But yo.
See, y'all thought I premeditate that shit. Look. Yo, can you hear me? Look. Now what if I said the music you fed is part of a plan? An elitist agenda to feed and extend the catharsis of man. A subtle progression, the muzzle expression through public deception. Ain't none of us stressing, the sucking the blessings. Fuck your perception, it starts with the fans. Niggas wanna follow the hollow motto and swallow the same bottle of pills when it threatens their ability. Bible by the father of being father to offer the alternate outcome to protect sensibility. Stealing me the privy dudes that's willingly sacrificing their pennies for blog accessibility. You pay another to get on a website, that's a red light, now question your credibility. Dealing with the feeling of being the villain, concealing, fulfilling any image you knew was not real. Niggas when the flaws to come to the block talking that shit like, look at these motherfucking wheels. You trapped in an image of prison created like nigga, we made it. We slaves in the matrix and all of his heinous as Angela Davis, the shit is frustrating. You keep dropping albums and CDs, we get it, you working, you writing. But it's sorta like Rihanna's titties, we seen them, there's no more excitement. You tweeting, you posting, you hosting these legion of students. You garnering all this attention, but no one believes in your music. Assuming you was unassuming, I'm assuming you was doing what you thought you had to do in order to get out of room. Now you wanna come and new, and now you wanna come and suing. Water down bullshit for the dumb humans, I'ma come and thumb through it. I'ma put my gums to it, I'ma eat you motherfucking rappers, ain't no undoing. I'd rather be a corpse than a subhuman, I'ma tell you pussy to be quiet till I'm done chewing. I just sit back and I look at the game, and the game it disgusts me. I see it clearly, you fear me, cause lyrically no one can fuck with me. Even my homie R.A., he told me them haters ain't sugar you. If you open up for these rappers and murder them, nobody's booking you. Niggas can play the fame and the lames from the famous, the aimers, the entertainers, the net of the shit is flavor. I just take the lyrics and language, twist it like things and turn them into bangers, my nigga, that is not debatable. Yeah. Nowadays, niggas only on cause of cosigns. I'm the illest motherfucker that's been doing this post-trap. No side, literally, I'm so high, satellite close by. Niggas keep pretending it's lame. Then they wanna talk about who the best on the West Coast. Got the nerve not to mention my name. So hard the discussion. Fuck what you heard cause you lost in the front. The difference from me and these spitters and lyrical killers, I'm actually talking about something.
That might be it for the microphone. He actually destroyed the microphone.